Kun Lin. Let's see how the 2022 world champion gets on. Scott Frost is making his way to the commentary team, and he'll be joined by Phil Yates.
Andy, thank you very much indeed. You know, the world #1 is out. The world #2 on the World Nineball Tour rankings, Fedor Gorst, he's only just about in.
Okay.
Shane van Boening has got to this stage very comfortably indeed. It's been a breeze for him. 9-1 over Farhad Al-Arbi, and then 9-3 over Francesco Candela. He's into this round undefeated, not bruised. It's all been a walk in the park so far, and look at that lad. Brilliant from both, but it's Shane van Boening who dropped that ball on a dime.
The first rack, Shane van Boening to break.
Yeah, Phil, this will tell us everything. SVB needs to break good. Did get the 1 down. Is he going to get a look on the 2? Looks very, very tight. But Shane's the type of player, when he gets that break down, he becomes a completely different animal.
He spent a good portion of the afternoon watching the Billy Thorpe-Oliver Szolnocki match on table 4. He's a great student of the break-off. He was taking clear note as to what was occurring on that table, but of course on this one it might be a little different.
Yeah, well, there's a great look. This ball is makeable. Oh, and he used all of the pocket there. What a hit this is. He also, with very little angle, gets up towards the red 3. But he's got a funny angle here. See how he maneuvers this line.
Extension call.
Notice the pink 4 down here on the lower right side. He's concerned about the drawback. Doesn't want to go into the middle with the white. And that's what he does best, the power stroke. This opens everything up. Might even go in towards the 7 here, either way. He should be fine. Just got to knock this down. Yeah, steered clear of the 7. And went at the 9 a little bit there. He knew at all times it was going towards the lower right. Pretty self-explanatory here. Almost a stop on the 6th and the 7. Guess he's got a little bit of a low angle from this look.
SVB sending an early message here. He looks really solid. One player known by an abbreviation, FSR, out. Another, SVB. I think he'll be very difficult to beat.
Yeah, I can't agree more, Phil. He looks like he's up for the challenge. Just continues to go on with it. He's got a little bit of an awkward angle here. He's going to manage.
Well, that little nudge at the end, it's not ideal, but at least it might have saved him.
Yeah, Phil, I'm kind of surprised he tried to draw back below the 9.
It
Shane
was
Van
a
Boening wins the
hard-working rack and a hard-working 9-ball, but Shane Van Boening draws first blood. We caught up with the great man beforehand.
I'm actually feeling pretty good. Got some good rolls, breaking good. I'm happy with my performance. Nothing much changed, just doing my routine and just doing my thing and, you know, trying to do one match at a time. If I'm playing on the TV table, then that'd be good for me and that I'm used to that atmosphere. Well, he's from Chinese Taipei, so he's a good player. Got to take advantage of his mistakes and try to go out there and not put any mistakes on my end. My goal is just try to get to the semifinals. If I can get the semifinals, then I can be more relaxed. That was my main goal before I came here. Just got to do one at a time.
Shane Van Boening, one of 6 Americans through to the last 64. Chinese Taipei have 8 representatives. They're the second most successful nation in
Shane
the
Van
first
Boening's
half
break.
of the championship.
Leading one
Only
rack
the
to nil.
Philippines, with 9 players through to this stage, are more heavily involved.
Okay, caught those balls a little thin. Notice the one a long ways from going in the middle. Take a look at the replay. Yeah, he might actually caught him thicker than he wanted. Neither here nor there. The one, not even close.
Result for you, Yuan Chua has beaten Ko Ping Han, the youngest of the 3 Ko brothers. Chua's victory by 11 racks to 5.
Yeah, Chua looking actually pretty good this event. What's this going to do with the 3? I think it's going to be just fine. Well, he's going to be a little steeper than he wanted. Shouldn't be an issue, but he's got to hold for the 3 down here in the lower left.
Faced adversity so far, Wu Kun Lin. He lost his first match to Ali Al Abaidli of Qatar 9-4, but bounced back. So had no more room for manoeuvre, and on the one-loss side he beat Michael Schneider of Switzerland and Daniel Massiol of Poland. 2 good victories, both by 9 racks to 6.
Yeah, he's evaluating here where he wants to be on the pink 4. So he's going to dig into this 3, try to get to the shallow side. That's what he's done. Doesn't want to be elevated over the brown. He's going to be perfect. Yeah, if there's any trouble in the rest of this rack, it might be the 6 to the 7, maybe the 7 to the 8. The 7 in a little bit of a tricky position so far, making it look fairly easy. Wants to avoid contact with the black 8 here. Yeah, that needs to come up. So, notice the movement with his Q-tip. Not thrilled with this. I don't think he can hold. It's going to be interesting to see. He might have to come to the long side between the 7 and 9 and play the 7 up to the top right. Oh, so he felt like he could hold. Did drop below the 7. Phil, this is always a tester when these guys have to play this ball past the middle.
Yeah, you definitely see these shots missed. Not in that instance, though. It did catch the cushion quite a way down, but it was always going to go in.
Wu Kun Lin wins
Shane
the
van
rack.
Boening's dry break was fully exploited by Wu Kun Lin, and that's why the first couple of racks have been shared. It's 1-1. So this is a meeting between a 29-year-old and a 40-year-old. But of course, in the Saudi Junior event, real youngsters are involved. And I'll tell you what, the enthusiasm they've shown has been terrific. They love the fact they're competing out in the main arena. They love the fact that they can practice alongside their heroes. Wonderful conditions as well, of course. It's a 16-player event. And Scott Frost, the future of the game, there for all to see.
Yeah, excited to see all of these youngsters out here and from all over the world, really. It's just fascinating. Bright future for pool.
And there are some players in the tournament who've not reached double figures in terms of age yet.
Yeah, this young man here is a local. A lot of people behind him. Barely the same
Rack
height
3.
of the table.
Wu Kun Lin to break. Scores are tied, 1 rack each.
Yeah, if you're a Wu fan, Phil, you've got to like what you see there with the 1. He got a bad flick on the white. No doubt there. 2 balls down. Trouble with the 2, though.
No trouble for Dang Junhu, the Spanish Open champion from around this time last year. He's beaten Kuo Po Cheng 11-7.
Yeah, so you got a good look here. This ball does play. Big shot coming up. Oh, very, very clean. Avoided contact with the purple 5 as well. That's a good sign for Wu.
He reached the semi-finals in Kielce, Poland last year, and in this round he was very impressive. Overcame Alexander Kazakis 11-2. Then he beat Neu Kioi,
Extension call.
Max Lechner, Duong Kwok Wang before succumbing to Mohamed Sufi in the last 4.
Yeah, so he's got a hold for the purple 5 down in the lower right. Gonna come back and forth. Doesn't want to contact it. Oh, this is gonna turn out beautiful. All signs showing good early for Wu. SVB, if you're a fan of his, you better hope he finds an adjustment in that break.
He has won a big international event on American soil, the Las Vegas Open in 2021. Wu.
Yeah, he's going to travel 3 rails here. Get pretty much anywhere to get back down here for the 8.
Chinese Taipei is a pool powerhouse. And so is Wu Kun Lin, breaking and running in the third rack. And Shane van Boening, after winning the first impressively, finds himself behind early doors. He trails 2-1. In last year's World Nineball Championship in Poland, Shane van Boening was the title holder. In this round, he beat Joni Uski of Finland 11-2. He could still win this match 11-2.
Leading 2 racks to 1.
But now from here, he would need 10 out of 10. I think we're awarding 10 out of 10 in marks to Wu Kun Lin so far, Scott.
Yeah, it looks like it, Phil. Shane's got his work cut out for him here from what I'm seeing. And he's made a ball in the break. I think he's made 2, but he has missed the 1. Even though he's got a shot, that's a good sign for SVB. At least he knows he's not the only one that can miss the 1 on the break. The bad news is, well, like you said, Phil, Wu, well, he could still beat Shane 10 in a row. Now, needing just 9. Starting off with a big back cut. He's going to go into the pink here. Oh, he's completely missed the pink. Even better.
Well, look at this layout now. 2 unmissable balls.
Yeah, the rub into the purple 5 really helped. That allows him to get to the 6 a lot easier. Well, he's going to remove the 5 now. This can be a little touchy, Phil. He's got to hit it dead center. And I'm talking about the combination. You don't want to come left or right of the purple. Let's see how he plays it. Yeah, so I think he's going to be okay. You saw the 3 rocking downward. I don't think it rocked enough. He's going to be fine to get on the pink. Most important thing for him here is to carry an angle to come back down for the green 6. He's done that. He's kept the cue ball off the rail. Might be going 2 rails just above the right middle and down. The 7 does play in the lower right. Going to the second rail here, Phil. It allows him to control the speed of the cue ball a little bit better. Kind of checks off that second rail. Well, he's proving me wrong. And this has caused a little problem. I felt like if he just turned that cue ball a little bit more, he could have come into a better line. I think he's going to be fine. He's not in love with it.
Extension called.
The reason this is a little bit more difficult is the 6. Well, it's not frozen to the rail, therefore not straightforward. Yeah, well, it does pass the 9. He should be fine. Would have liked a couple more rotations to get down here on this. Everything going to be okay, I believe.
At no point until the 7th ball did he positionally overextend himself in this rack, and now it should be his.
Wu Kun Lin wins the rack.
3-1 to Wu Kun Lin. Now let's go down to Addy on the floor.
Yeah, I'm on the floor with last year's finalist, Mohamed Sufi. Has come through his game, 11 fives to rack. Mohamed, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, it's good to see you here. I know there was a lot of talk of maybe you not being here. I know your father's currently ill, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit sick right now. And I focus to give everything for him. You know, I want to play for him, just to make him happy. You know.
And you're doing so, right? I mean, so far so good. How is your game right now? Where are you?
Yeah, last game was tough match against Yab. He very strong. Like every match I focus to win, just to win. I'm not focused to another things. Just give my game, focus to win. 5-2 was for me. I missed the 9-ball. He come back 5-4. I take break. Like I prepared myself.
Just to get the mind right.
Yes, yeah. Prepared myself to come back. On after I play amazing. Yeah.
How are you finding this magnificent arena? I mean, this must be one of the best arenas, if not the best arena you've ever played in. It looks incredible, doesn't it? Everything is perfect for the players.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like this is best arena for me ever. Like everything amazing. Like everything's 100%. Like I love this arena so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final one. Last year you got to the final. This year maybe one step further to get this trophy.
I will work so hard. I will give everything to give this to my father.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mohamed. Good luck in the next 32. Thank you.
Humble, talented, great backstory. Heartwarming that he's through. I'd love to see him win it. I really, really would.
Yeah, I don't think there's a breathing body in the building that doesn't like him. And a big break right here for Wu. Can he get the 1 down? Oh, he's made the adjustment, Phil. Cue ball got a flick off the 9, but the 2, well, it's looking okay.
Just talking about popular Mohamed Sufi, another player who falls into that category. Friendly with everyone, David Al-Qaedi, the European Open champion. He's beaten Claudio Cacci 11-6.
Yeah, Phil, and that's a good sign for Al-Qaedi, who in my opinion has been struggling a little bit in the last few months. The PLP, we all know he was 0 for 15, which is pretty much unheard of. He did win the last round, and that was kind of a lifesaver. Oh, and this is a good hit. I don't care what ends up happening. He can manufacture something with the 3. That wasn't easy.
Yeah, so just one postscript on Al-Qaedi. In the last 32 this evening, he will play his Mosconi Cup captain, Jason Shaw.
Yeah, and often you've got to wonder how those guys continue to play each other, but they're such professionals. They get past it, they get on with it, and they're going to try and destroy each other. And this is a good decision as well. Wu really looking solid right now. This is the first time we've really seen Shane back at the table since breaking 1-0 up.
Yeah, as I said right at the start, 2 very comfortable victories already for Van Boening, now thrown into the lion's den.
Yeah, no pun intended, and he's going to probably take the extension here. Wants to make heavy contact, I believe, on this 3. He'd like to, in a perfect world, stop the cue ball right there and just get distance with the 3 down here somewhere near the pink. And he's caught it thin. Really quick in the backswing there. Did he get away with it? I believe he has, Phil.
What do they say, Scott? It's good to be good. It's better to be lucky.
Yeah, they say that, and kind of luck favors the brave. Well, I guess it's true in this case. Oh, and there's a great look. Is he trying to clip the 3 here? Wow. Very difficult to do, and he did that due to the position of the pink 4. He knows the 3, doesn't pass it. Shane needs to really think about this. Make sure he keeps Wu off the shot. Yeah, I'd say he did a pretty fine job there.
Now, the closest table to our commentary position, just down below us on the left-hand side, is table 2, where Lee Van Corteza is on the hill against James Arenas. Arenas, though, has a chance to pull one back. But in keeping with a lot of this match, he's missed the 7 ball. He's made a slew of errors as the Filipino World Cup winner. Mind you, that could apply to Lee Van Corteza. He's won a World Cup with the Philippines as well.
And you're talking about a guy in Lee Van Corteza who always seems like he's deep in these events. Whatever event he plays, just seems like he's always there somewhere deep in the event.
So he's 3 pots away from setting up a last 32 meeting with Dang Junhui. Today the tournament's really come alive. Last 64 this afternoon, last 32 this evening. Single elimination, no second chances.
Yeah, so big shot here for Corteza.
Extension called.
He'll come all the way around. He's got it down, Phil. Corteza, one of those guys that always got a little body movement, but when the finish is done, it continues to go through the ball cleanly. Ball's always hitting the center of the pocket.
This is surely it. FSR might be out, but LVC goes through. Lee Van Corteza defeating James Arenas by 11 racks to 7.
Yeah, and here we are back to Shane. He's actually fallen a little awkward on the 4. Is he drawing out of this? Oh, well, look at this shot. Wow, what a play. The way he's acting, the 6 will play in the lower left. I thought the 9 could have been an issue. From here, looks like he's home free. Just needs to get towards the center of the table. Probably punch one rail out. Tell you what, Phil, I really like his pace around the table. He looks confident to me. Even when he was in his chair, he looked confident to me. It's a good sign if you're a fan of Captain America.
Yes, apart from failing to make the 1 in the side pocket off his break in rack 2, in the 3 racks he lost, he didn't do anything but sit and admire. Later this year, he will be inducted into the Billiards Congress of America Hall of Fame, and no one is more deserving. As Jeremy Jones said yesterday in commentary, it's just surprising he only received 96% of the vote in his first year on the ballot. He's 100% for me.
Yeah, same here, I concur. This man will be in the history books forever, for good reason.
Shane Van Boening wins the rack.
Wu Kun Lin won 3 racks in a row, but it takes more than that to intimidate SVB. Good match in progress here. Plenty of other matches now coming to their conclusion. 12 matches started at 1 o'clock. There you can see Viktor Zielinski. He's in the second wave of games. He's taking on Aydin Tikniach. And it's 2-2 there. Naoki Oi of Japan, that great character. He finds himself 2-0 up early on against Alexa Pachelch. 2-0 for Wojciech Szewczyk over Moritz Neuhausen. And what a start for Alexander Kazakis, the former World Masters champion, who captured that title by whitewashing Shane van Boening 9-0 in the final in Gibraltar. Well, right now, Kazakis is whitewashing the 17-year-old Filipino Albert Manis. It's 6-0.
Yeah, that's a beating so far. And Manis, one of my favorite players this week.
Shane van Boening, the man we're concentrating on in our coverage right now, is synonymous with the US Open. He's won a record equaling 5 of them. The current US Open champion is Ko Ping Chung. And over on table 10, he leads Bernie Regalario 5-2.
Yeah, and you've got to make Ko Ping Chung one of the favorites in this tournament, or at least he's one of mine. Big moment for SVB here. He needs to make the adjustment and get the yellow in the middle. Well, he's come short again. It doesn't make him happy when that happens, and he's come up with no shot, Phil. Talking to himself a little bit. He and I are pretty close. I know in depth what he thinks about this break. Obviously, like anything else, when he's hitting it well, all is good.
Push out called.
Actually, in this shot, looks a little tired to me. He's playing the rollout, so he's going directly to the 8.
And then it's your choice.
Ben Taylor Fuente is the referee. Of course, we've had an instance already this week, if you're just joining us for the first time, where someone did not nominate
Shane,
push out.
please play again.
It was very costly for him. Luong Doc Tien in a loser's side match against Fedor Gorst. It was in the 16th rack. Of course, it was a foul and ball in hand for Gorst, and he ran out to win 9-7.
Yeah, and I believe that's already gone viral on YouTube, Phil. So he's looking to kick behind this.
Extension call.
Can't quite tell how much of the one he can get to. Might be able to get to all of it. Let's see what he's got in mind. Yeah, I don't know that he's going to kick behind this. Well, this was my concern with kicking behind it. I didn't really know where he could hide. Kind of an open table that direction. And I think Wu's got to go forward here off the 7. Okay, he's a little high with the 1, so he's going to draw. Wants to catch the 7 pretty thick. Oh, and he has, and this is going to turn out beautiful for Wu. Yeah, he got real nice and thick into the 7.
Extension called.
And he's calling his extension here. Might be a little steeper than it looks. He's got to get on the pink to the top right. Using a center inside ball here. Oh, and he's even played to overcut it a little. That needs to settle. He'll be fine.
also fine. Max Lechner, the Austrian, has beaten Dennis Grabber of Estonia 11-8.
Yeah, he's really been running through them this week.
Yeah, there were a few suspect moments last night, even though he beat Skylar Woodward 9-6. He did miss a few balls, he made a few pressure-induced mistakes, but Lechner, former US Open runner-up, is through.
Like to get over for this 6 pretty good where he gets heavy on it. He'd like to be able to play the 7 in the middle. Yeah, and he's got an absolutely perfect fill.
He's had quite a quiet year, really, Wu Kun Lin. Beaten in the last 64, the corresponding stage of the UK Open. Finished 5th in a couple of events in Asia, the Indonesian International Open and also the Chinese Taipei Open on home soil. But he's very capable, Wu Kun Lin.
Yeah, he looks very good to me. It's going to be a big challenge for Van Boening.
And the fact that he is number 39 in the World Nineball Tour rankings underlines the strength in depth on the tour. The gap is again to Wu Kun Lin. Is playing very nicely, thank you. And Shane Van Boening has a few early issues. You know, 20 years ago, Alex Pagulayan, who represents Canada, won this championship back in 2004. Now he's battling to keep his hopes alive 2 decades later. He was well behind against BJ Usuri. Now, though, he's only 10-9 adrift. Pagulayan, you know, will fight to the last ball.
Yeah, Phil, I know he will. In talking to Usuri earlier,
hitting 4 racks to 2.
He is happy going through this event as an underdog. He is quiet, but he's steady. This young man can play. I don't think a lot of people give him enough credit.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
White chases the 1 down into the middle, and a big opportunity, Phil, for SVB.
Please stop the clock.
This is the biggest money event in the history of Nineball. Imagine single elimination, which we're in, going to Hill. That's what Marco Teucher and Bada Alawadi have done. Over on table 11, we'll keep you informed.
Yeah, you don't want to put a heart rate meter on both of those guys right now. I can assure you of that. Be a little high. And Shane's body language just tells me that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think he's fallen perfect on the 4. Playing for the 5 next, just in our screen. And look at the pace. He's really walking around the table quite quickly. Just tells me he is comfortable. Obviously, Phil, I'm from America. I am a SVB fan. But Wu, you've got to give him credit. He's playing great.
I love watching SVB. There's just an aura about him. Like all of the greats in any sport, they draw you in.
He's so fun to watch. He addresses the cue ball so well, possesses so much power when he needs it, only when he needs it. He's got two options here. He can come up 2 rails, or he can come around 3 rails. Looks like he's punching 3 rails. And notice how he stays well above his line on the 8. So he can naturally come down for the 9. Having the cue ball clean.
Yes, with the shot clock, which is a 30-second shot clock, if you do have the cue ball cleaned, that comes out of your own time, but Ben Telefuente was perfectly positioned to get in there and complete the operation quickly. And completing the rack quickly is Shane Van Boening. He ain't missing this 9.
Shane Van Boening.
4-3. There you go. It's also looking good for another American over on table 4, Billy Thorpe. He had a mid-match wobble. I was watching a lot of that match from my commentary perch earlier on when I was doing some research for the match we're watching right now, and he's 10-8 up is Thorpe. As for that match on table 11 that's gone hill-hill, Badr Alawadi from Kuwait. In goes the 7 ball. He's got a really good cue action. Times the ball very nicely. And it looks as though Marco Teucher has had his chips.
Yeah, it's a big win for Al Hawadi. Cue action is nice.
He is through the Kuwaiti, and so he will now play Mohammed Sufi in the last 32. 11-10 the scoreline. One of those tables, when it goes hill-hill, you can guarantee people pack around to see the fun.
Yeah, Fedor Gorst had a hill-hill match last night with Kyle Amarato.
Shane Van Boning's break.
And the tension
Turning
was
4 racks
high
to 3.
in that match. Gorst squeaking through. Be interesting to see how he finishes this week. Boy, really quick in the backswing there, Phil, and that's something Jeremy Jones and I notice and talk about. Notice Shane shaking his head. See how quick he was in the backswing there? That's what causes mishits for Shane when he's breaking the balls. Tried to really power him, too. When he won the PLP a few months back, he really controlled that backswing. Didn't overhit the break, and his results, well, they speak for themselves.
And because of the unrelenting schedule at the Premier League pool, to win that's a real achievement, because A, you're playing all the time, and B, you're playing world-class opposition all the time.
Yeah, you said it best. I've never seen anything more grueling. I think they played 8 straight days, all day long. Crazy format, fun format. The guys get to play a lot of pool. I know they love the event. Pretty impressive at Shane's age to win that event. I think he slept for about 3 straight days afterwards. Yeah, tricky rollout here. I wouldn't be surprised if Shane handed this back just because of the distance. Like to get a better look. He's taking it on. All right, let's see what he thinks. Okay, he's going to try and use the 3. I'm surprised he took that on, Phil. The reason being is you've got one ball you're trying to hide behind, and 9 times out of 10, your opponent's going to be able to kick at it anyway. I would call that an error.
And it was a safety error that cost him rack 6. Safety error on the same ball.
Yeah, and that could be a point we referred to when this match is over. Didn't have to take that push on. Wu, well, he's happy about it. Needs this cue ball to travel a little. He didn't want to be above the 2.
Great news for Liverpool fans stateside. Billy Thorpe is through against Oliver Szolnocki, 11-8. Szolnocki, a former semi-finalist in this event. Good win for Thorpe. That the banker comes good.
Yeah, he had a bit of a patchy match last night. I thought he played great. He only missed 3 balls. He was a little hard on himself. He lost the match right down at the end, but he's recovered well. Not surprised. You know, Phil, I think he's playing the best pool of his career. He's made some great personal decisions, and you can see it in his backswing.
Yeah, the man from Dayton, Ohio, will now take on the giant killer, Mickey Krause, in the last 32.
And giant killer he is, just defeated the great FSR, knocked him off his perch. He was ranked #1 in the world. Wow, I don't know for how long, but it seems like maybe forever. So he's knocked FSR off his perch, and it was a matter of time. It's impossible to keep that pace up.
And so now, all of those matches that began at 1 o'clock local time this afternoon, all of them are finished, apart from Alex Pagulayan and BJ Ussery. It is Hill, 10-10. We saw Pagulayan potting the 9-ball to make it 10-9. Well, he's added rack 20 as well. Talk about pressure in that last rack. The man from the Tar Heel State, North Carolina, was showing Alex Pagulayan a clean pair of heels, but not anymore.
Yeah, and no doubt you talk about pressure. I've got to kind of give it to Pagulayan in the Hill match. Of course, anything can happen, but he's been around for so long, knows how to handle that heat. Can't wait to hear the result of that match. Did Wu get out far enough for the green? Looks like he did. It looks like he's digging into the cue ball a little bit, so he's going to have to swerve this. Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, nice and soft. Not wavering at all is Wu.
It's tactical at the start of the Ussery Pagulayan decider. Tactical and nervy.
And the start of this game here was tactical. We could go back later on, Phil, and talk about the decision Shane took as far as agreeing to handle that push out.
Extension call.
Still think that decision, well, it's a little interesting. Wow, Phil, Ussery just kicked the 2-8 combination in from nowhere. I believe he's snookered on the 2 now.
As for our game, well, it's a lengthy 9-ball, but it should be knocked in.
Yeah, he's made nice work of this rack.
Wu Kun Lin wins the rack.
Twice in rack 6, and then again in the one we've just seen. Shane van Boening has failed to achieve containment on the 1-ball, and on both occasions he has been punished as a consequence. Now then, let's go to table 6. 10-10, all on the line. The man from High Point, North Carolina, BJ Ussery. Will this be a high point in his career?
Yeah, and a large crowd assembling, as you mentioned earlier. It happens when these matches go hill. Looks like he might have to jump a piece of the 7. If not, he's got a defensive option.
rest assured, when the decisive moments happen, we will be there.
Rack 9. Wu Kun Lin to break. Leading 5 racks to 3.
So 3 times now, Wu Kun Lin has had a 2-rack advantage. Can he make it 3?
Watch the cue ball. Oh, and it's held up. Great news for Wu. But he's missed the 1 again in the middle. Comes short. Look at the cue ball here. Thought for certain it was in the drink. He's evaluating the cut. Had plenty of time. 42 seconds.
Yes, because after the break you are afforded extra time.
Oh, what a clean hit. This man is on his game. And the red leads to the pink here. He caught that a little bit thick, but the speed is what allowed that ball to fall. Anywhere back out towards the center here. Very similar shot here as the last one.
Could this be one of those afternoons you see at Q Sports events where ranking and reputation counts for nothing? The World Nineball Tour #1, FSR already beaten. What about the world #3 going out? Well, the way Wu Kun Lin is playing, you cannot discount that possibility. Far from it.
Yeah, and you've touched on it many times. So is Michael McMullen. It just goes to show how deep the talent is here in the World Nineball Tour.
And that was a nifty shot played with check side to come down the table at the right angle for the brown 7.
Extension called.
Wanted a little more on the cue ball, I would think. But it's a problem that's easily solved at this level.
Yeah, I think he's going to come all the way over. If not, then he's got to kill this ball. He doesn't want to catch the 9, but he caught it correctly.
Anything Wu can do, Shane van Boening can't do better at the moment. The semi-finalist last year from Chinese Taipei is looking to gain a major scalp, and he's well on course because he's more than halfway to victory. He leads at 6-3. Shane van Boening might be struggling, but we have another American through to the last 32. B.J. Ussery. He was 8-3 up at his best against Alex Pagulayan. And so consequently, when that 9 ball went in, he was so relieved. He's from High Point, North Carolina, as I said. It's known for producing furniture, that town. Right now, he just wants to take a chair, sit down and reflect on what's just happened. But of course, he has to gather his thoughts and come back again this evening.
Yeah, Phil, I really love his mindset, though. It's been the same since his journey on the tour started. And he's just constantly happy with squeaking through or being the underdog. Takes the pressure off of him.
Well, he'll be the underdog in the last 32 because he plays Eklund Kachi.
Where is the one going? Does it fall? Well, we haven't seen a lot of SVB. It's been pretty quiet. Hasn't made a lot of mistakes that I've seen. Nothing jumping out at me other than the break. Yeah, at this point, he's really got to start to come with it. Don't try to get too cute on the blue two. Just make sure you guarantee yourself some type of look. Yeah, I like that. Actually, about as good as you could get. I assume he's going to want to swing 2 rails out just below the 9 to the right long rail and out towards the center with a low left ball here. It's kind of a drag shot. Yeah, it's going to be fine. He would have liked to have stayed a little bit more below the 3 than above it. He'll manage. One rail out. Really amping the ball. Heart rate might be up a little bit. Yeah, Philly might have to play this 5 in the top right now. All depends on how he feels. Looks like he's amping again, but you can never tell with him. Oh, he's going to the middle. And what does this angle look like? Gonna have to cheat and force? Or can he just draw over? Looks like he can draw over. Wants to stay clear above the 6.
He's such a shot maker, such a potter, such a thinker, Shane Van Boening. If he gets chances, he wins. But this match is one of those where life isn't easy for him.
Yeah, I think he's fallen a little steeper than he wanted to. And you typically don't see these guys play to the middle pocket. That laid correctly for the shot. I think he's fallen perfect. He's responded every time. I feel like the break is what's slowing him down. And that's always the case with Shane Van Boening. If he's breaking good, I don't feel like any human on the planet has to win.
Deficit trimmed. 6-4 now to Wu Kun Lin. I can tell you, on table 1, Alexander Kazakis has ripped through Albert Manis. He leads 10-1 at the moment on the hill already. The youngster from the Philippines has produced some really good stuff so far, but in this match, it's a rude awakening. And look at Kazakis in the balls again, on the way to victory.
Yeah, Manis getting an introduction into the big leagues. still so young. He's going to have great matches. Then he's going to have those matches that become reality, little wake-up calls. But that's going to make him better.
Yeah, he's not the only Filipino teenager struggling this afternoon. Bernie Regulario, 8-3 down to Ko Ping Chung. Mind you, young Patrick Gonzalez from the Philippines is having a good time so far. 5-2 up on Ko Pin Yi.
Kazakis just flowing. Looks really good. Well, he's overdrawn that just a margin, Phil. I don't think he meant to get that much into the white, but he'll be just fine.
Shane Van Boening to break. Trailing 6 racks to 4.
Just about scrapes in, does the 8 ball. And the end is nigh. What a crushing victory that was. Alexander Kazakis defeats Albert Manis by 11 racks to 1. This afternoon he was Alexander the Great, but unlike the original, he does have some more worlds to conquer.
Yeah, well said, Phil. And bad news for SVB. No success on the break. And you just can't win that way at this level. You have to be able to put those 1s, 2s, and 3s together, or at least the 2s and 3s. The 1s, well, they aren't going to get there.
By the way, the significance of the match we've just seen finish. Kazakis now awaits the winner of this one.
Wu calling the push out.
Shane, it's your choice.
Shane has the option. He'll come in, survey the situation. He's immediately handed it back, probably due to how far the 1 is out. What I mean by that is if you decide to kick behind this, it's a little bit more difficult to control the cue ball. Using a high ball, he might be able to stick behind the 6 and 2. It doesn't look like he's using a high ball. Well, he went to the high side. He just caught it thin. Well, how is he living, Phil? Life is good for Wu. I kind of felt like Shane really didn't give it a good look. Yeah, Wu got pretty fortunate there, but fortune favors the brave, as we've said a million times. Shane needs to make something happen.
Yeah, that old chestnut about fortune favouring the brave. I suppose if they're both brave, it can only favour one of them.
Wow, great contact. He needed to make something happen, Phil. Will that be a turning point? Very difficult hit as it was. And he's come up with a shot. Yes, he fluked the pink in, but he made a great hit. Notice the 3 covered up by the 5, so he's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, crunch the 1 in. But another examination coming up with the 2 because the cue ball is welded to that far rail.
Yeah, welded is exactly right. Don't know what type of angle he has. He can come downward. Look at that arm shake a little bit. Oh, did he play this? Does he have a good shot on the 3? Oh, he can make it, Phil. These middle pockets are not forgiving.
They were absolutely brutal at the UK Open, the middles. A little more generous here, but Scott, you're absolutely right. You've got to be so accurate. And I think he played that shot really well, as he did with the 2. This has been a good visit.
Yeah, touching on the UK Open, I've never seen middle pockets like those on an American-style pool table. He actually caught that pretty wide. He did want to get all the way over for the 7. He's reaching here. Oh, he can get over this ball just fine. He's got to make something happen on the break, Phil.
This began with some fortune, but let's not forget, the reason he was in the snooker in the first place was because it was a fluke hook. Just what the doctor ordered for SVB. Back to within 1.
Shane Van Boening wins
at
the rack.
6-5. Really good match, this. Wu Kun Lin knows full well that Shane Van Boening remains more than a handful. Lots of tables going on right now in various stages. What we've had so far on the main tables, well,
This template has a tear.
Francisco Sanchez Ruiz is outbeaten 11-7 by Mickey Kraus of Denmark. Jason Shaw came through against Mustafa Alner. Carl Boys was commentating on that. He said the quality wasn't too good, but at least he's advanced. As for matches going on right now, well, To Lian Han leads Chris Melling 2-0. Yoniuski 2-1 up on Chang Yulong. It's a slow start again for Fedor Gorst. He's lost the opening rack against Amir Ali of Iraq. In matches a little more advanced, João Grillo of Portugal leads Fu Chi-wei 6-4. 4-all between Naoki Oi and Alexa Pachel. She wouldn't like to call that one. Robbie Capito, the UK Open champion, taking on Ralph Suke 2-2. Victor Zielinski in front against Ian Pekenyak at 6-4. Wojciech Szewczyk 4-1 up on Moritz Neuhausen. And I can tell you, Fedor Gorst has just gone 2-0 down to the mystery man, Amir Ali.
Yeah, and you've got to wonder, he continues to dig himself into these holes. Just doesn't seem settled yet. I keep saying it.
Rack 12.
I feel like it's going to happen.
Shane Van
And
Boening's
we'll all
break.
know when it does.
Building 6 racks to
You don't want
5.
to keep going behind 2-0, 3-0, 5-1. You can't outrun that. And Shane, well, he can't outrun it if he doesn't start making something good on the break. Getting closer and closer with the 1, but it continues to finish up top. Trying to will it into that middle pocket. Very similar situation as the last game. He might be taking this bank on, Phil. Looked to me like he might just draw over towards the right-hand corner pocket. Maybe get a shot on the 2 if the 1 goes. If not, might end up safe. Oh, it looks good, Phil, but just short. And this is what I was talking about with the cue ball. Yeah, he's looking to kick off the bottom rail here. Very good look. This is why he doesn't want to jump at it. Doesn't see a lot of good things coming from the jump shot. Well, Wu would love to make this in the left middle. It would carry position.
Foul stroke. All in hand.
Instead, the worst possible scenario, no contact at all.
Please start the clock.
Yeah, and Shane's kind of just like hung around and hung around. He hasn't shown weakness outside of the break. Maybe it's the first sign of weakness from Wu.
It's entirely understandable because beating Shane Van Boening at the World Championship, what a feather in the cap that would be. They came very close to playing last year, actually. Had Van Boening got through the last 16 match against Duong Kok Wang, he would have played Wu Kun Lin in the quarterfinals, but the Vietnamese player Duong came through 11-10. I thought Van Boening played a really good match on that occasion, even though he lost. What run was going went Duong's way. I did that match, and it was one of those where Van Boening really wasn't all that much to blame.
Well, this is the first moment, and well, since the beginning of this match that Shane's got a chance to tie it up. Not thrilled with where he ended up here. Gonna have to wrap around. 7 next in the lower left. Yeah, he's managed that quite well. This is right up his alley. I don't think it's too steep to power up to the right long rail. Come back out towards the center. If it is that steep, Phil, he'll punch 2 rails, but he's got to avoid the 9.
That's one of the great assets of Van Boening. He gets so much bite into the cue ball, doesn't he? It grips the cloth really quickly, maybe quicker than most.
Yeah, his delivery in that transition, he just gets so much power from his movement.
It is all tied up for the first time since 1-1. Shane Van Boening is back on level terms. This time it's 6-6. Cracking match in progress. The arena here in Jeddah is resplendent. The fan zone, I've never seen anything like it in over 30 years of commentating on Q Sports. It is simply wonderful. We're in the building on the right-hand side there. The facility is tailor-made for Q Sports.
Scores are tied, 6 racks each.
And all of the 12 tables being used for this championship have been fitted in a wonderful way so that spectators can see so much action simultaneously. Mind you, most are turning their attention to this because Shane Van Boening, having been 6-3 down, is now back where he wants to be on level terms.
Well, what an adjustment he's made there. He really put his back arm into that break. That's a good sign. for Van Boening fans. Yeah, I mean, the pace at which he hit that break, I don't think anybody's cutting the balls any harder than that. Looking to get behind the pink here. And he might have him cut off. A little shake of the head there. Well, Shane, never really happy with anything in his game because he's such a perfectionist. But I think the brown 7 causes big problems here for Wu.
Extension called.
Yeah, and if he has to go to our right side, he's going to have issues with the 9-6. He's really, I think he's trying to bend this cue ball to the left long rail as well. Oh, wow, Phil, that was millimeters.
Foul strike. Ball in hand. Please start the clock.
Yeah, what a difference a fraction makes. You said millimetre, Scott. It might have been millimetre. Singular.
No doubt. It was probably a millimeter. What a valiant effort that was by Wu, though. I only figured out what he was trying to do right at the end. SVB calling his extension.
It's going to be more strife for Wu Kun Lin. You can guarantee that. And this is even more difficult than the original.
Yeah, really glued him up behind the 6 here. Score? Well, it's 6-6. And he's behind the 6. If he happens to get ball in hand here, you'll typically see a player like Shane take the run out because the 2's so close to the 7. I don't think he'll play the 3 foul. But Wu
Foul strike.
is on 2.
2 fouls. Ball in hand. Please start the clock.
Shane Van Boening has not been in front since he won the opening rack. Now, though, the lead could so easily be regained. There's no obvious obstacle.
Well, he needs that to settle. Should be okay. Overamped it. Couple rotations. Naturally coming back to the right side of the table for the pink 4. Wow, he has really killed that cue ball. This is a mistake, Phil. I don't know that he can go at this cut. If he can, he's really got to clip it thin.
And either way, the positional shot will really upset Van Boening, because as you were saying earlier in the rack, he sets himself such high standards.
He's got a good safety play here. Yeah, and that shot right there taken out of frustration, in my opinion.
Kun Lin, you're on
He
2
had a
fouls.
real
If you
good
foul at this
play
inning,
to
you will lose the
bank
rack.
the pink back down table. It was his moment to take the lead, Phil. He couldn't resist staying aggressive. In Shane's defense, it's hard to believe he killed the cue ball that much off the 3, as steep of an angle as he had. Well, that's pretty good from where he was.
Frozen ball.
Ventela Fuente, the referee, saying frozen ball. The 4 is frozen to the cushion.
clever. I believe he's got him cut off. He's definitely got him cut off. He's going to have to go 2 rails. Ideally, Phil, he'd like to catch the top side of this pink, I believe. If not, he wants to catch it thick on the bottom end, sending the cue ball towards the 6. The pink up past the middle. And he was in between both. And it's going to finish good for SVB.
A second chance for the South Dakotan.
Well, he's gotten fortunate to get a look at this 6. He's having some speed issues. Underamped, overamped. We've seen it a few times in this match already.
Well, the fact he could not only see the green 6 ball but pot it, as you say, he was lucky there, because it looked as though the 9 ball would obscure.
Yeah, very fortunate it come clear of the 9. One more good shot. It'll be a great recovery.
Rack 13 has not been clinical. Nevertheless, that's
Shane Van Boening wins the rack.
in succession for Shane Van Boening, ahead at 7 racks to 6. Already on the hill on table 10 is Ko-Ping Chung, 10-4 up on Bernie Regulario. Jonas Suter Camino there on table 2, 4 each with Jeffrey Ignacio. Ko-Ping Chung, the US Open champion, now just a few pots away.
Yeah, and a lot of us think he's playing quite a bit better than his elder brother, Ko-Ping Yi. At least this year, for certain. Bernie Regulario, Phil, one of my favorite players. His performance at the Hanoi Open really excited me. Haven't seen a lot from him since, but he's young and a bright future.
Yes,
Rack
he
40.
was schooled in
Shane Van Boening
tactics
to break.
earlier
Leading 7 racks
in
to 6.
the championship when he was beaten 9-1 by Anton Raga, who just tied him in knots.
Does the 1 drop? It does drop. A huge opportunity for SVB. You could say a little fortunate again, just short with the 1. Really struggling with this break. He's a perfectionist. He will not be happy with this going forward unless he makes a consistent adjustment.
We've seen already in this championship you can win if the break isn't working. Chris Smelling had 7 dry breaks against Imran Mashid last night and won nevertheless. But
Yeah.
if you aren't breaking well, it makes it all a lot harder. So much more toil is involved.
Yeah, I agree with you, Phil. I had the opportunity to commentate that match. Imran didn't play well. Chris really didn't play well either, just kind of a choppy match. It's hard to get through an event like this, not making balls on the break.
The 6, I think, is
Extension
intervening.
called.
He's calling his extension. He wants to play the pot. He was trying to coax it in with the side, but can he do that? Can he manufacture this particular shot?
Yeah, Shane seemed to be struggling a little bit with the speed, clearly. Didn't think there were too many issues with the shot prior. Combination. Yeah, he's going to swerve, try and come 2 rails. Oh, he's going to play the bank. He can slide up for the 5. It's another one, Phil. You just don't want to over amp. This ball can come short on you. You can also lose the cue ball. Going forward. Thought he might try and draw this ball up. No, he knew he'd miss the 7, but he's run into the 9. I thought he would stun up there. A little bit surprised. Easier to make the bank the way he played it. Tougher to carry position. There's another situation. Does he stay aggressive? And almost a repeat of last game. How's the cue ball going to finish?
I don't think it's in behind the green 6. I don't think it's travelled far enough. Shane Van Boening a little disconsolate as he walks away.
Extension called.
Yeah, you're right, Phil. He can get at the purple. Notice how Shane's sitting in his chair, laid back, feet stretched out. That's not a positive position he's sitting in. Big shot for Wu. And that's a center ball. The cue ball kind of flattened out there. He needs it to get off the rail. All in all, nice shot.
It was, but this is the definition of a pressure shot with the cue ball so close to that side cushion. This could so easily be wobbled. Any kind of shoulder involved in the shot, and it will be. Done well there. We should be all level again.
He's fallen pretty straight. He's still got a little work to do. Real straight, actually. Does the 8 play in the left middle? Or is he going to come all the way back? Oh, and it's fallen. A little fortunate. Big stroke.
There's no way that goes in at Telford in the UK Open. No way in the world. Delayed reaction, drops in the end.
Oh, and he's missed the 8, Phil, and I was wondering if that would be a result of how he hit the 7. It's turned out pretty funny for SVB, though.
It has, but at least he's back to the table.
He might take this on, straight back to the top left. Okay, Phil, there's a couple times where I felt like Shane could have found something defensive, and he's kind of pushed the situation. All 3 of those times that I can recount, they haven't worked out for him. This rack, not over yet.
It is now the 8-ball tormenting Wu Kun Lin. The colour of the 8-ball is the same as the mood of the player from Chinese Taipei, black. Because
Shane Van Boening wins the rack.
Shane Van Boening, for the first time in this contest, has a 2-rack advantage. He leads by 8 racks to 6 when it might well have been all square.
It's not a break. If you need the bathroom, you can go, but if you can wait 1 more.
The 8-ball,
One more.
Scott, that's what we could be talking about when all is said and done.
Yeah, and this is a result, I feel like, of how he played the 7, still in his mind, right? Caught it a little thick and a little quick. Now here's another look at this 8, and he also caught this too thick.
Now, as you might suspect, a little earlier on, we were watching Ko Ping Chung with 4 balls left to win against Bernie Regulario. Well, those 4 balls were safely deposited. He defeats Regulario by 11 racks to 4. And next up for him, well, he has to wait for his opponent. It's a match between 2 players you would rather say than write out their surnames. It would take a while. Mark Beisterbosch is 5-4 up on Konrad Yajushin.
Rack 15. Shane Van Boening's break. Leading 8 racks to 6.
And it's not like there's not a lot of money involved. 7,000 to whoever advances in this match. Guaranteed. 3,500 at the moment. SVB needs that 1 down, and he's got it.
Yeah, the 2 blank ball as well, but it's not the best of layouts, to say the least.
Yeah, and you'll hear Jeremy Jones discuss it too. Sometimes when the speed's different, as far as this type of power in the break, the layouts aren't going to be traditional. Seems really amped up to me, though. This entire match, he's either overamped it or underamped it in a lot of different scenarios. He's going at the bank here. He's also really seemed aggressive in scenarios where he could have played a little defensive shot, maybe got away with it. Can't fault him for banking this, though. Only concern, Phil, purple 5 kind of hemmed up there. He doesn't want to land straight. He's got to figure something out now. Overamped again.
Another result to give you. Viktor Zielinski of Poland. He has beaten Aydin Tikniach.
Extension call.
11-4. Zielinski now plays either Robbie Capito or Ralph Suke. It's 4-3 to Capito as I speak.
Okay, he's going rail first here, so he might go into the purple. No, he's caught it fat. Want to catch more of the top side of that ball. So one positional error leads to another. He's got to soft roll this kick. Just hope he leaves him jumbled up or somewhere close to the 5. I don't understand the speed
Foul stroke.
at which
Ball
he
in
hit
hand.
it. I don't think there was going to be any separation at any point.
Sorry. Please start the clock.
Yes, and it was imperative to make contact at the very least. It's going to be a combo maybe here to start off with a 5-8.
towards the center here. Actually might be better off just staying on the left long rail because it's going to guarantee position. The cue ball going to get away from the 6, whereas if you stay straight on this combination that he's playing next, it's going to be just fine. He's gotten a lot closer to it than I thought he would.
Extension called.
A little bit of an awkward angle, though. The 6 could get away from you just a fraction. And he's held it nicely. No problems here.
So the 8 in through a combination, the 7 in the same way. It means he goes from 6 to 9. And it means he gets within 1.
Wu Kun Lin wins the
Shane
rack.
Van Boning's 5-rack winning streak is interrupted. Wu Kun Lin back in this. He's only 1 behind. Shane Van Boning's lead is now 8-7. Welcome back to Jeddah and the
Rack
Prince
16.
Abdullah Al Faisal City
Wu Kun Lin
Sports Hall,
break.
to be precise.
Training 8
Where
racks to
it
7.
is single elimination, the last 64 this afternoon. And Shane Van Boning is involved in quite a battle with this man, Wu Kun Lin of Chinese Taipei. Breaking in rack 16, looking to draw level.
Yeah, both of these guys struggling on the break. It's just one of those matches.
1 moment.
Not promising for either one of these guys going forward. They'll have to make the adjustments. I wanted to touch on those 5 racks that SVB won. Let's just be real about it. It seems like Wu had a chance practically every one of those games.
This tournament is not an easy one so far for the game's prominent names, for the household names. What about Fedor Gorsht? Worth saying on table 4, he's 4-0 down to Amir Ali of Iraq.
Yeah, he just hasn't seemed to find anything as far as a pace or a rhythm. His timing seems to be a little bit suspect. Tell you what, though, if you're in Federer's shoes, you've always got the pressure on you. Watch the kiss here off the tube. But going back to Federer, he's already a global superstar. He's constantly got the expectations to win.
He has, mind you, that's a responsibility that's been carried by Shane Van Boning for many a year now.
Yeah, and a lot of guys can't handle that responsibility. It gets too heavy over time. He needs to clear the 8. He has a lot of work left to do, and I don't even know. This ball plays in the top left. By his reaction, it doesn't. You can see there, he's got to do something different with the 3.
Nothing's been easy, though, for Shane Van Boning when he comes to the table with a chance of a clearance. We talk about a road map. He's not even had a Pirate's treasure map that's rather obscure.
Extension called.
Yeah, and he's in between here, Phil. Like, really in between.
Now, we were talking about Fedor Gorst. That's his opponent. Looking at another 9-ball. Hard to comprehend, but you better believe it.
Gorst trailing 5 games to 0. Something good I just saw from Shane. I think it's, I think it's been lacking this match, even though he didn't get there. Finally took the defensive play. He had a chance to cut the 3 in the left middle or play it to the top right. He chose defense, left the gap.
Extension call.
But it tells you that he's up for the grind.
Has Van Boning's patience been rewarded?
And typically, this is a shot that Shane gets up for. Fortunately for him, the pink is up there near the 3. Big shot here. Oh, and off by some margin, Phil.
Yeah, time and again, if you see that shot missed, it normally is overcut, but he missed it by a distance.
Yeah, the body language in the chair. Each game getting worse and worse.
In the last 64 last year in snowy Poland, he demolished Finland's Joniuski 11-2, did Shane Van Boening. What a contrast this match. This is a real dogfight.
It is. They both continue to find gaps. They both continue to overrun and underrun. And I think it's all a result of the break, right? Neither one of them doing much damage on the break. Typically in 9-ball, if you're breaking good, you're playing good. That's why SVB has the results he's had over the years. Doesn't want to open the 7-9 up here. You catch the bottom half of this 3 and it's possibly disaster.
Foul stroke, all in hand.
You know, with the opposite side on
Please
that
stop the
ball, that might just have stayed out. But even the side that was on the white, you can see it spinning there. Even that took it in.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, he opened the 7-9 up. Feel like I might have put a little jinx on him there. He get the angle that he needed? I'm sure he did. Could have afforded more angle, that's for certain. Yeah, now he's going to have to power this. The big scheme of things, this is a very big rack for the man at the table. Just fractions from clipping the 9, and that wouldn't have worked out.
asking for the cue ball to be cleaned. Maybe he detected a slightly unusual contact there. Didn't affect the potting angle. Might just have dulled the cue ball running through a little. Shane van Boening has taken a two-step. He's 2 in front and he's 2 away from booking his passage into the last 32. Now let's go over to table 2 across the arena. It features Jonas Suto Camino against Jeffrey Ignacio. It is Europe against Asia. And Ignacio looks as though he might just poke his nose in front.
Yeah, the 9 a little tricky there. Fun player to watch when he's on, Jeffrey Ignacio. Pretty compact stroke. Gets so much power from that compact stroke.
In it goes 7-6 to Ignacio, and that's also the score line for his fellow countryman Patrick Gonzalez
Rack
on
70.
table 13 against
Shane van Boening to break. Leading 9 racks to 7.
Yeah, Phil, I keep waiting for Van Boening to put the cue ball in a different place. He's been stuck with this, and a lot of times players will remain stuck with this, and I guess that's why. Little movement of the hand. Does he have a look?
I think the 8 ball is proving a little unfriendly.
It's close. I do think he can make this, Phil. Taking a look at this angle.
Yeah, it was a pretty good break. I hope he can get through. Yes, of course, it's one of those situations where you can get a bus through.
Yeah, and these type of shots, he typically likes to come back. He is going to come backwards. But it's laying to where he could go forward. Wow, he's just so good at this shot. He practices that shot day in, day out. I'd say at least 60% of the pool world would have gone forward on that ball. Not thrilled. He's going to have a steep angle. This means might be forced to come around 3 rails.
But again, that shot with running side around the houses, as we say. He plays that one delightfully also.
There's no doubt. I think he's just concerned he'd like to just draw it out. 2 rails.
Extension call.
Across the top of these balls, but I think he's concerned about catching one of them and then might flirt with the right middle, so he pretty much forced, I think, to come 3 rails here. Looks like he's digging low, though. Well, it's not easy to avoid all of those balls. You see a little jolt in his arms there, like, come on, let's get this over with. Chance for a break and run. Here, Phil.
Sure.
At precisely the right time to get on the hill. And this has been a recurring pattern. Van Boening making sure, doubly sure, that there's no skids. Having the cue ball cleaned. even with a 30-second shot clock, ample time to do that because Ben Taylor Fuente, the referee, is very efficient.
Yeah, Benny's doing a great job out there. Well, he's overrun this just a little bit. Seems like he just gets a little overamped at times during this match. Obviously, can't ever predict an issue here.
It's just at that distance that places a grain of doubt in the mind. This could be wobbled, especially in such a pressurized environment. But it isn't wobbled. The great Shane van Boening now 3 in front on the hill. He leads by 10 racks to 7. Now a couple of monumental scorelines to give you. Anton Rog is 6-0 up on Liu Riteng. Maybe not monumental, but the next one is. Amir Ali from Iraq is 6-0 up on Fedor Gorsht. You can't quite believe it. The look on Scott Frost's face when I showed him the scoreboard, he was just full of surprise.
Yeah, you've got to wonder what's going on in that match. I wouldn't mind being a fly on the wall over there by that table. You've got to feel like Federer's had some chances.
Chris Melling 7-4 up on To Lian Han, the veteran from Singapore. Roland Garcia 2-1 on Elliot Sanderson. It's 4-1 for Oscar Dominguez over Ali Abadli. Joshua Filler and Fitim Haradinaj of Kosovo have just started out. They've shared the first couple of racks. Alexa Pachelch 9-5 on Naoki Oi. Pachelch pulling away. And Portugal will have a representative in the last 32, thanks to João Griot's win over Fu Chi-wei. Griot has won 11-6. Congratulations to him.
So the only
Rack
success
18.
that SVB's had on the
Shane van
break
Boening
is
to break.
really
On the
putting
hill,
the power
leading 10 racks to
into it,
7.
whereas a lot of other guys, it's kind of the opposite. I don't expect them to hold back here.
That 9 was very close. It could have been another match wrapped up with a golden break. We've seen 3 of them on the main table this week.
Yeah, here's another look. Ideal contact with the cue ball. Everything looking good, Phil.
Is it appropriate to say roadmap?
Well,
Jeremy Jones rations me to 1 roadmap a week. Is this the one?
You did touch on it earlier. You mentioned he hasn't really had any. Well, I think it's appropriate.
Satnav Shane.
Yeah, this is the angle he wanted. Four to the 5. And he's good.
The champion last year is out earlier today. If you're just joining us, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz was beaten by Denmark's Mickey Kraus. Is Wu Kun Lin, one of the semi-finalists last year, about to suffer a similar fate?
Yeah, Shane, definitely not a perfect match. He struggled. The reason he's such a world-class player is that he typically figures the break out. He is still struggling, Phil.
Forget the roadmap now. He's taken a wrong turn.
Yeah, and he can only hope it's not a dead end.
Extension called.
He is frustrated. He looks tired to me. I know him quite well. I said this early on in the match. He's playing defense here.
And playing it well. No way between 8 and 9 through to the 5. No way.
Yeah, maybe just a one-way in the air. That's about it. And if he is going to the air, he's over the 7.
Extension called.
Obviously not a favorite here, Wu, to make this, Phil. But if he does, well, I think he'll have position on the green. Look at the fingers, all ball fouls. You don't want to touch the 7.
Van Boening looking to see whether the 5 goes past the 8 to complete the 5-7 combination.
Oh, yeah, and very difficult. What's he got up his sleeve? The carom combination. But look at how it's finished, Phil. He's pretty much frozen over the 8.
This rack is symptomatic of the whole contest. Nothing has come easy for Shane Van Boening. He's had to fight for everything.
And I guess at that speed, you've got to know that the 5 is going to finish where it did. Well, this needs to settle. This needs to settle. New life for Wu.
He was right in amongst them. It looked like a simple chance for a player of his authentic world class to complete victory. But suddenly, things have switched. That was calmly done. Just rolled in from distance.
Yeah, and as you called it, Phil, SVB pretty much had a roadmap. He clipped the 5. It's allowed Wu back in this match.
And of course, with the winner breaks format, he gets to get things underway in rack 19.
Wu Kun Lin wins the rack.
Wu Kun Lin is still punching when it looked as though he was going to be knocked out. Shane Van Boening's lead is now 10-8, and the pressure continues to rise. There is nothing more disturbing in Q Sports when you've had a wonderful chance to win a match and it's slipped through your fingers. That was the case for Shane Van Boening. He should have been celebrating an 11-7 win over Wu Kun Lin, but the 18th rack went the other way. Can Wu take full advantage?
Good sign for Wu. But this is how it goes. You don't take advantage of the opportunities when they arise. The pool gods love to punish.
I'll tell you who they're punishing at the moment. Fedor Gorst, he's 7-0 down to Amir Ali. No one in this building who knows anything about Nineball can quite believe it.
Including me. He's a little steep here. Really got to dig into this. Yeah, very hard pressed to get there, but he's done about as good as he could. Pretty evident he wouldn't get where he did if the red didn't pass the purple. And if you can't hold, a lot of these guys might run into the 9. A lot of them like to avoid those balls.
Extension
Can't hold for the left middle. The pink does play in the lower left. Well, it also plays in the upper left. He's going to the upper left. He killed the ball nicely. He cues very low. The tip always on the cloth. Yeah, he could have done with a little more angle. Yeah, you see there, he's got enough. He can stun up. This contest getting a little closer, Phil.
Yes, he's missed fewer balls than his opponent in this match. He did miss a very bad 8-ball in rack 14, but otherwise he's been pretty reliable.
Not happy. The reason he's not happy, he can't be upset either. He's wanted a little bit more angle. Might have to power this ball. This is a ball you can rattle. Got to hit it clean. And clean. He hit it.
When Shane van Boening messed up in the previous rack, he might well have thought, this could lead to trouble. If he thought that, he was right. It is 10-9. Van Boening still waiting to cross the winning line. Thanks. It's not been a good afternoon for the game's biggest names, not by any stretch of the imagination. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz out earlier. Well, at least it's a eureka moment for Fedor Gorst after losing the first 7 racks to Amir Ali of Iraq. This 9-ball is to finally break his duck.
Yeah, and you just get the feeling this match isn't over with. Obviously, we aren't present for those first 7 games. It's a race to 11.
Yes, and that gives him a little more breathing space. News of players on the hill. Mark Bosch, who has got a tremendous break. So powerful. He's 10-5 up on Konrad Yuzhishin. Wojciech Chevchik was a moment ago on the hill, but he's just beaten Moritz Neuhausen 11-2.
Rack 20. Wu Kun Lin to break. Trailing 10 racks to 9.
Quickly, Copigny 8-7 up now on Patrick Gonzalez in a match where the advantage is being traded.
Well, it's come down to this. A huge opportunity for Wu. Needs the one, or needs a shot. He's got the one. Does he have the shot? It's tight. He's looking straight up in the air. That doesn't tell us much.
Yeah, normally the reaction, the body language, tells you what you want to know.
Now, this is interesting. He can definitely make the ball. I don't know if he can draw upwards. He might have to take a long shot on the 3. Hard to tell. We're not at the table. Can use an inside ball and swerve it in. If he does that, he'll have distance on the red. And due to the purple 5 being so close to the 2, this isn't an easy swerve either, Phil. You can
Extension
turn it
call.
right into the purple. Touchy situation. Oh, he could make it. What's the 8 gonna do? He's gone right into the 8, Phil. Maybe an opportunity for the man from the USA.
Remember, rack 14, the missed 8 ball twice over. Here, it's a well-known phrase behind the 8 ball. Wu Kun Lin literally is.
Six seconds on the clock. How's it finish? How does it finish? Oh, another chance for SVB.
For Wu Kun Lin, that 8 ball is an evil sphere. Even stopping the cue ball in mid-table and giving SVB another chance to wrap it up.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more. I believe the pink passes in the lower left. You know, not long ago, Phil, we were talking about a road map. You mentioned he made a wrong turn. We were wondering if it was a dead end.
Dare we say an avenue into the last 32, but what an examination this has been. What a tough assignment. Van Boening far too experienced to become excitable. He'll just hone his concentration. 5 more balls.
Yeah, and this is typically where he shines. Very rarely will you see him lose another opportunity to get past this match. I think he's just going to hold here, or is he going to try and come around? No reason to send the cue ball further than you need it. It's got him in trouble in the past trying to come around, Phil. Does have a little bit of an angle. Don't make this harder than it is. You can go to the top rail and out from the right long rail. Just gonna play it simple. I like it. Well, it wasn't pretty, Phil. He's 3 balls away from a victory.
Joff
Again, following that thought of having the cue ball cleaned, he's done it on several occasions this afternoon. The last thing he wants here is a bad contact. Other than that, though, you cannot imagine that Van Boening will falter. You know, he hails from Rapid City, South Dakota. This match, this win, has not been rapid. It's been the definition of hard fought. But the American talisman is through.
11 racks to 9.